Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about how to be more charismatic. So I've done videos about how to be impressive without impressing, how to be magnetic, but how do we start to become more charismatic? Many people view charisma as a gift that only some people were lucky enough to be born with, but the truth is that this is a learned behavior that anyone can master. There are specific behaviors that create the perception of charisma, so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can start to be more charismatic. Whether you're a single guy looking for love or a salesman trying to gain some new clients, I'm positive that this video will help. So let's first start by understanding what exactly charisma is. So charisma is compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. So how do we go about mastering this? Number one is developing a sense of warmth. This might include smiling, making people feel welcome. Someone who is charismatic often has the ability to make people feel seen, heard, and valued. This might include kindness, acceptance, really making people feel like you're trying to understand them, you do understand them, and that you care about them. Charismatic people are well liked often because of the way that they make others feel. So that's why having this warmth about you is so important. And I'm not just telling you to do these things to put on a fake persona of being charismatic or being fake about things. I think this is a genuinely good trait to have about yourself, making people feel seen, valued, heard, and welcomed. That's a good person to me. Charismatic people leave those who interact with them feeling as if time had stopped and they were all that mattered in that moment. They make people feel better about themselves, which leaves a lasting impression, and a charismatic one, of course. Number two is presence. This could include being attentive, making eye contact. Body language is a huge signal for showing that you are paying attention and being attentive and present in a situation with someone. Again, you might make eye contact, you might nod to show that you're listening. You really just want to show that you're present, you're engaged, you're interested, and you're listening. Show interest and be present in the conversation. The people that you're interacting with are going to pick up on this. I can always tell when I'm talking to someone if they're distracted, if they're looking around, if they're looking at their phone, and it always comes off incredibly rude, and it comes off charismatic when you are present, engaged in the conversation, you're listening, you're attentive. Those are the traits that leave a charismatic, lasting impression versus acting distracted or just really being distracted in general. Another way to show that you're present is by asking questions and genuinely listening to someone when they give you an answer instead of thinking about what you're going to say next or just simply being distracted by something else. Ask genuine questions and genuinely listen to the person talking. Before I get into the next point here, I'm really excited that today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. I mention a lot on my channel how important the relationship that you have with yourself is, and I know from personal experience that when I show up as the best version of myself, I also show up as the best Courtney for everyone around me, including all of you. Because this is so important to me, I decided to do some major intentional reflection and take a class on Skillshare called Designing the Life You Want: 4 Exercises for Clarity and Motivation by Michelle B. This class really allowed me to get into a headspace where I feel inspired and creative, and that's why I've been able to make so much awesome content for all of you. So if you're not familiar with the platform, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves learning and wants to explore their creativity and learn new skills. If you have a specific skill you're trying to learn, Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From self-care and productivity to freelancing, graphic design, and more, you can find classes that will match your goals and interests. Some Skillshare benefits include new premium classes launched each week, so there's always something new to discover, and the first 1,000 people to use the link on my description box will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. My next point, number 3, might be the most important point of all, and that is to believe in yourself. Confidence, guys, it's so important. I know you're probably tired of me saying that. I'm tired of saying it myself, but I think it's really important when it comes to being charismatic. People with charisma come across like they've got it going on. They're confident, secure, and simply put, they believe in themselves. Get rid of that self-doubt and imposter syndrome that is taking over your life and really start to believe in yourself, gain that confidence, boost your self-esteem. I've done a bunch of videos on how you can do this, so if you need a little bit of help in that area, definitely be sure to go check those out. Moral of the story for this one is to let your confident, charismatic self shine. Number 4, dress for success. Whether you like it or not, first impressions are important and they make a huge difference. Part of this is the way that you show up for yourself, the way you dress included. Dressing for success and putting in effort into your appearance shows that you care and can play a role in how people perceive you. Again, I know some of you might think this is a bit shallow or superficial, but when it comes to making first impressions, first meeting people, I think it's really important to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward and showing up as the best version of yourself. Psychology has shown us time and time again the importance of dressing for success and making a first impression. Start to think of this as your personal brand, the way that you show up, the way that you choose to represent yourself, the way that you choose to present yourself to the people around you and the world around you. I'm not saying you have to be dressed to the nines 24/7, but if you're going to something where you want to make a good first impression and you want people to, perceive you in the way that you want to be perceived, make sure that you're showing up for yourself. And that doesn't mean dressing in one specific way or looking like a cookie cutter of the guy next to you or the most influential person in the room, but make sure that you're representing yourself and dressing as the best version of you. I love to wear my pajamas, but if I'm going to a first date or an interview, I'm putting on a nice outfit and I'm not going to show up in my pajamas because that's not how I want to be perceived. And also, more importantly here, what you choose to wear can boost your confidence tremendously. And this is going to reflect in the way that you feel about yourself and interact with the people around you. If you're feeling confident, you're dressed for success, you look like $1,000,000, this is going to come across in the way that you speak to people and the way that you interact with the people around you. Next up, we've got the 3 P's, which are passion, purpose, and positivity. Number 1 here is passion. When you're speaking to someone for the first time and they start talking about things they love or things that they're passionate about, I've referred to these in past videos as someone's golden nugget. They light up when they talk about it. They look joyful, they act joyful. They are just, kind of the best version of themselves. You could say someone is shining when they talk about something that they're really passionate about. When someone is talking about their passions, they normally light up, and you can just tell that they're passionate about it by the way that they speak about it. So when you're first meeting someone, if you want to come across charismatic, you can either try to get to know what their passions are, what their golden nuggets are, or you can start to share yours. This is also something that I recommend for speaking with someone that you've never talked to before. You might be feeling a little bit uneasy or nervous, but speaking about something you're familiar with can help you kind of detach from the situation in a sense of, I've never talked to this person before, I'm nervous, I don't know what to say, by talking about something that you're familiar with. Practicing this way will help you become used to speaking with new people and can actually help develop long-term confidence. So purpose and passion can kind of both go into what I just mentioned there, but another thing about purpose is that when someone knows exactly what they want in life or just what they want in general, this is a very magnetic thing that often draws people in. Having a strong life purpose is typical of the visionary and authority charisma types. Having short-term and long-term goals for yourself is also another way to kind of figure out what your purpose is. And the last point here, positivity. Speaking with someone who is positive versus someone who is a negative Nelly is a drastic difference, and someone who is negative all the time or pessimistic is never going to come across charismatic. So when you're conversing with others, try to keep things as positive as you can for the duration of your interaction with them. This helps you frame yourself as a positive and helpful individual to the people that you're speaking to. And even more than just, trying to frame yourself this way, try to be this person. You don't want to be the negative Nelly, the energy vampire who people walk away from a conversation with feeling like they need to take a nap, right? You want to be the person who is refreshing, who is uplifting and motivating and makes people feel better about themselves. And, just being positive will help you feel better about your life as well. So try to be positive. I know sometimes it's tricky, but it'll make you come across way more charismatic. And my last little tip here is metaphors and storytelling. This is an easy trick that helps keep people engaged and interested in what you're talking about. Think about how you can connect with your audience. So you might have the same story, but how can you change it to fit to the people that you're speaking to? So if I'm telling my best friend about my vacation, I might tell her different things than the things that I tell my mom because I want to keep them both engaged, and I will mention things that I know that they would like. So say on my vacation, I went antique shopping. Well, my mom loves antiques, so I would tell her about that. Well, maybe I wouldn't tell my best friend that because she's not really into antiques. I would maybe tell her about the other shopping I did or about the beach, So I know that's a silly example, but really just thinking about your experiences and the stories that you have and not lying or not changing them to kind of fit a narrative, but just changing them to, be engaging and interesting to the people that you're talking to. So that was when it comes to storytelling, but when it comes to using metaphors, I think this can also help people better understand what you're saying and show that you care about if they're learning, understanding, and knowing what you're talking about. And I want to share this little quote with you so that you guys can understand what I'm talking about. It says, "The most charismatic people in a room are those who speak metaphorically, providing substance to a conversation through exemplary use of anecdotes and comparisons. They aren't recounting events, but paraphrasing action while using facial gestures, energetic body language, and voice inflection." So being a good storyteller, I've mentioned this in a past video, how powerful this is, and it's something that I am really not that good at, that I'm currently working on. So just being able to kind of master this skill is really important and powerful, when it comes to being charismatic and when it comes to, making people feel a certain way about you. This also says, charismatic people are experts at using moral conviction and reflections of group sentiment, as well as employing questions, even rhetorical ones, that keep people engaged. In short, they just tell a good story. So again, using metaphors to tell and explain things is a really great way to have your audience feel a little bit more engaged, connected, and understanding what you're saying. And then just in general, being a good storyteller is an incredibly powerful skill to have. And I think this does often make people come across way more charismatic than someone who is all over the place with a story that can't keep whoever they're speaking to, understanding or engage with what they're saying. All right, guys, that is all I have for how to be more charismatic. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. Let me know down in the comments some things that you do to try to be more charismatic. Again, this is not supposed to be putting on a dog and pony show for anybody or pretending to be someone you're not, but more so just stepping into who you are and being your best self and being able to connect with people, make them feel heard, seen, valued, and welcomed. I think that's a really impressive and great trait to have as a human being. So as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.